Now, 2016 saw the unveiling of the latest landmark here in the Emirates, the Dubai Opera. Located at the prestigious downtown Dubai district, it's a tribute to Dubai's maritime history, with the iconic dhow-shaped building a masterpiece of contemporary design. We sat down with Janus Rostock, head of architecture and urban design at Atkins, the firm commissioned to design Dubai Opera, to find out exactly what motivates cities to create such structures. More than most cities in the world, Dubai has largely built its reputation on its futuristic skyline and ambitious construction projects, such as the man-made Palm Islands, the Burj Al Arab, and the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa. So what motivates cities and municipalities to commission and create these kind of structures?
I think today in a global world, all the major cities are competing against each other. So Dubai is no longer just being seen in relations to Abu Dhabi or Riyadh or any of the other local cities. It is competing on a global stage. And that means that when you do master plans and when you do come up with new ideas for buildings, you look across the world to see what are other people doing. So creating an opera house, of course, is setting a new precedent in terms of what has happened in Dubai in the past. And it's a unique building to put in here, and it needs a certain level of maturity for a city to start to have its own opera house and starting to set up these kind of events. We've done the Burj Al Arab, we've done the Dubai Metro, so from that point of view we've been here for a very long time. We've been here for more than 40 years, and of course that means that as clients, the government and other stakeholders, they look to us for answers in terms of what to design. And we are influencing this, and we are trying to advise on what to do with the buildings that we're putting into the city.
The Emirate of Dubai has changed drastically in a relatively short period of time, with a pace of development that has seen it transformed from a sparsely developed seaside town into a global city in a matter of decades. But what is the effect of this kind of development on the population, and what can be some of the consequences of inappropriate development?
Inappropriate development is always an issue, of course, because inappropriate development can, in worst instances, create ghettos. I think that's not really an issue here. I think parts of the challenge that we've had with some of the buildings that were created around 2005, when the real boom happened, was that the attention to detail was probably not as much. So it was about creating that grand statement, creating these iconic buildings. And parts of the criticism has been that these buildings never met the ground. So it was at a time when everybody was arriving at buildings in cars. The public realm, the pedestrian experience wasn't considered at all. And I think Dubai is now trying to retrofit and to change that, and to make sure that the buildings are now also working from a pedestrian point of view, because that is an emphasis that has started to come in. And again, I think that's linked back to the competition with other cities around the world. People do want to walk, they do want to use the outdoors, and in Dubai, although it's hot in the summertime, during the winter it's lovely, and most people want to walk, but it demands sidewalks, it demands that it's safe for you to walk in the public realm.
Welcome back. Now, the fairly new Opera District and Theatre is fast becoming the focal point for arts, culture and performance, playing a critical role in achieving the vision of the Dubai Strategic Plan 2021 to establish the city as a vibrant Arabian metropolis that shapes and influences culture and arts in the region. So what is the process of how the master plan for these kinds of projects are developed, and how successful will this district be in achieving its purpose?
It's important to remember that a master plan is a framework. So it's setting a framework that allow you to develop the neighborhoods over time. In case of the Opera House, the intention for this cultural neighborhood has been this since the outset, and I know that there's a lot of emphasis in trying to get that to happen. We've got the Opera House itself, with its auditorium. We've got the rehearsal hall, which can be used as a venue. We've got the plaza itself, which is an opportunity for you to create outdoor events. And then we've got the Burj Island, where there's also opportunities to create different types of events, set it up in different ways. So it is very functional in terms of opportunities. So it's really just the imagination of whoever wants to set something up, which is setting the limits for what you can do. The challenge is always, is this now visionary enough for the ambition of the government? So we would put our hearts and soul into creating the ideas. We would put our hearts and soul into illustrating it in the best possible way, and then we would go and present this to the chairman of an Akil or an Emir or a Dubai holding, and they would then go and take this to His Highness, and we would then be told whether we'd been selected or not. So it is a selective process. We are not just getting handed projects, we have to win them every time, and we have to win them with the best ideas.
The Dubai Opera Theatre building strongly references the traditional culture and heritage of the UAE. So how was this aesthetic balanced with the technical requirements that the space had to functionally achieve?
It was a competition, and we were told to do a 2,000-seater opera house and concert hall. They wanted it to be, of course, an iconic building, something that was able to put Dubai on the map. We took that as a challenge and said, we think it's important that this building is deeply rooted in the culture of Dubai, which is celebrating the heritage and which is recognizing where Dubai has come from and where it's now going. So we presented an idea of creating a building with a dhow inside it, and immediately that was something that was latched onto by His Excellency Mr. Alabar, as well as other parts of the senior leadership within Emirates, but also, of course, His Highness was very, very happy with that idea, and that's how we took it and developed it further. With regards to the hall itself, to the auditorium, there were no compromises made. So from the outset, we knew in plan exactly what it had to look like and the size that it had to have, and then we fitted the dhow around that. So it wasn't the dhow first and then the auditorium in terms of the design. It was the dhow idea as well as an auditorium that works, and those two were merged together to make sure that it is a state-of-the-art auditorium that we are dealing with. For us, it's a key part of what we do is to make sure that we illustrate our ideas in the best possible way. We tell the story, we tell them why you have to do certain things. So it's evidence-based as well as being very, very visual.
Globally, we are witnessing a sustained boom in development. But what is the long-term legacy of this? And what role do architects and designers have in creating sustainable cities and landscapes that continue to serve future generations?
I think the adaptability of whatever we create is hugely important. It is important for us to think about the future. If we get automated vehicles, and it looks like we're going to get automated vehicles very soon, we're going to have a lot of redundant parking structures, for example. So making sure that when we're designing moving forward, that we take that into consideration. We do not want to build a lot of buildings that will have no future use, so it's important to integrate that. So when we do parking structures, maybe we have to increase the height of these so they can be converted to residential units later on. I also think we need to influence, we need to make sure that we create mixed-use developments. In the past, we've very often done developments that were either industrial or residential or commercial. What we're finding is that it's the mixed-use communities that people live in and stay in, and it creates that cohesive environment, which is really, really useful and which creates livable cities.
Well, that brings us to the end of our program. If you'd like to know more about any of the stories you have seen tonight, you can contact us at UAE Weekly at city7tv.com or by calling us on 04367 2230. From myself and the entire team, have a great week ahead.